Let's see where we're gonna go today, you guys. North end of Hooksett, and well, a couple of things we can see here. There's right here. I'm trying to see if we can see a river otter, beavers, porcupines, but we'll end up going and seeing a couple of fairly large boulders. Welcome to the town of Hooksett, and here we go. Let's get ready to go, you guys. We'll do a little mushroom hike here. We'll see if we can find something to talk about, but if not, we'll do what we can to make it fun. But here we go. Roaming with Roscoe at Heads Pond. So nice to see you guys. I always encourage you to eat a little more mushrooms in your diet, but stay curious and find stuff. And here we go. Let's take a walk down the trail. We'll see some pretty cool stuff today. So I'm kind of excited to see if it turns out the way I have it planned. But either way, a great fungus walk can always turn into a very nice nature walk. So we never know. We just never know what's going to jump out at us. And well, we haven't been here in a year, so let's find out. But anyway, welcome to Heads Pond in Hooksett. And here we go. We're looking for this kind of stuff, right? Because our fungus helps take care of a lot of the stuff that's around here. So, and birch tree state. So we do find a lot of birch stuff. And here we go, right off the bat. Find some turkey tails, right? And I did a video on that yesterday because turkey tails are way into mushroom hunting. Birch trees are a lot of fun too, right? Because you can actually find these things and identify them. Look at this, the horsehoof fungus. But you can always tell it's when you start seeing these things on the tree, you know that it's gonna end up being trouble for the tree. But anyhow, they're doing their job, and this one is the horsehoof fungus. We talk about this one quite often because it's very common, and the name is actually Fomitopsis foamy, which when we talk a lot about the foamies in any of our Latin names here, we're talking about something that's tender. And that one has been known you can carry fire with that one. So, well, something right off the bat, huh? At least we got a chance to talk about fungus. But we talk about that one and another one that grows on birch only because it's what they found on, let's see, the Iceman, 5,000-year-old mummy. And it was common practice to use that stuff for fire and that kind of thing. So let's take a look. I'm going to take a little walk this way and see what happens on our trail. And then we'll head back the other way. But I never know. And you can tell that there's a little bit of sandiness here. Look at the size of this thing over here, you guys. Look at the size of that. And that looks like skunk cabbage, but it's got to be a little bit different than skunk cabbage, don't you think? But let's take a animal path. But we're looking for anything that kind of stands out different in the path here. I guess we'll head all the way down here, come through the tunnel. There's a couple of our paths where we end up on a tunnel, and it's usually pretty cool. We've done a couple videos and did a little Willy Wonka because we don't know which way the rower's rowing. Brendan Creek, Leapers. I don't know. Willy Wonka one, that's pretty funny though. I did one of those. But anyway, let's come on out here and take a look in the light. We'll see what we got. It smells a little funky. It smells a little funky over here. We're in the swamplands. Obviously, we're seeing skunk cabbage of that magnitude, right? Let's take a look. Because we do have some cool stuff over here. And we just never know where, when, what's going to pop up. Could be the source of some of the smell we got here. But let's take a look around. It is beyond fungi, so we're admiring all the things in nature. We just like to see the fungus and talk about how it relates with how we're living and how it affects the world that we're in. So, but it's been a little iffy on the fungus hunting lately. So we'll see what happens on this path. But like I said, in a few minutes we'll spend an hour walking up and down the path and we'll see if we can't find something of interest. Maybe even take something with us. But anyhow, well, I'm sure we'll find a lot of the small nuisance stuff. A little bit of dried up old false turkey tail. We got some turkey tail there. We got all the stuff that we normally see on all the logs here. But again, if you're just getting into mushroom hunting, I mean, that's a lot of fun. You know, you find something and you look it up in the book and try to identify it and see how crazy it is. Like, is it supposed to be in your area or not? And actually, on my TikTok today, the saying of the day is is let's find stuff to post to iNaturalist. So maybe we will, and we already have. So, anyways, let's take a look. I'm gonna come down here and take a look at some of these trees, only because I know that there's some in disarray down here, and you just never know when you're gonna end up finding something out of the norm. There's chicken of the woods out right now, so we may end up seeing something like that. And we did find a strange little oyster mushroom that didn't make it onto the. It wasn't little; it was large. I mean, it was giant. And I almost thought it was a train wreck or shiitake that was in the white realm, but I don't know. We still never really properly identified it. But look at this big birch tree, and every time we see that, and I'm going to go over here because I think this is one that a couple years ago, I actually, a couple years ago, I found one over here that had chaga on it. So let's take a look. I don't believe it was this one, but look at the size of this birch tree. Holy cow! Yeah, and that one's remained pretty much unscathed. I mean, a lot of our birch around here is they're messed up. You know, they don't get that big. A lot of times, when they're young, a couple of winters, they'll end up bending over and weakening, having some real problems. But let's take a look over here. It's getting thick, but that's what we're looking for. Looking for stuff. I don't know if we're gonna find stuff over here. Holy cow! I just had to bushwhack this one. Good though. We want to get off the path, but we're gonna take a walk on the path once we get going. And the reason we stick to a lot of the paths is that we can just show you how easy it is to come around and find stuff that probably is actually right there. Like, you know, it's not that it wasn't there under your feet to begin with. It's just that you didn't see it, you know, or someone, you know, it's like anything else in life. When someone points it out, like, oh, no, I see it all the time. Oh yeah, look at this. Wow, this is trouble. But we got a tree right here. But I think this is the one. A couple of years ago. Look at this. Something's there. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, look at this, you guys. Son of a bitch. Well, we'll see if we can grab a chunk of this, but wow, that's how much it's grown in 2 years. I don't know if I can get that out of there. Hold on one second. Let's just see. Well, like I said, if you're chaga hunting, you may end up having to bring a tool with you. And this one's no different. Let's get a close up on this one, because this is chaga hunting at its best. You know, you find this huge chunk of chaga. Oh, look at that! Wow! Oh my God, you guys! Wow! So that's actually a pretty good size. I mean, holy crap! Wow! Let's take a look at this. Oh, Jesus! Now I'm gonna be way down. That's happened to me before, you guys. We've been out in the middle of the woods with no way to carry our chaga out. Come with 10 pounds of chaga and walk 2 miles. You'll be like, I'm not doing that again. Well, look at this. Son of a bitch. Wow. Man, look at that piece of chaga. And a friend. You're gonna stay here though, my little cricket. Yeah, you're gonna have to find a different place here. But anyhow, look at that. So if you guys have never seen chaga before, well, that's this chunk weight. That feels like about 3 pounder right there. Holy cow! So anyway, let's get ourselves back on the trail. So we talk about chaga a little bit. Holy crap. All right, well, at least we found something, and all of our finds have been on birch. Oh, what do we got here, you guys? Son of a gun, who would have known, right? What is that? That's a bolete. No. What the hell we got there, you guys? Oh, man alive. What is this? Wow, let's get in the light here. Shine a light on that. Oh, well, let's take that with us. I don't know. I mean, I'm almost thinking it's in a Lactarius family, but it's got kind of trichiloma feel. But look at that. Could be a gray knight. Look at these. Look at these, you guys. Wow. All right, we gotta stop for 1 second. Like I said, you have to take pictures for iNaturalist, and we've been encouraging you to do that. So, anyways, let's do that, and let's see if we can't find out what we're looking at right here, because that's something else. Not quite sure. But like we say, that's the fun about mushroom hunting, is that you know, we find stuff every day, and it always piques our curiosity. I like why and when and how, but anyhow, we'll see if we can put these little fellas on iNaturalist and find out exactly what we're looking at here. Because look at that, we have some attached gills here. I'm gonna say that it's got a mottled gray type of spore print, but let's oh jeez, yeah, this is thick stuff here. I'm very fortunate to find this guy. Take a bite out of it, and that's what we do. It smells almost powdery. Wow, holy cow. Wow, I don't like that at all. Nope, probably not an edible, but we never know. Holy cow. Okay, I don't like that. I don't like that one at all. It's got a super musty. I don't like that one. A super musty smell, and and a little bit of tanginess. I mean, we talk about it all the time about these things can give you a sting on the tongue, and that's why you just bite it for a few seconds and then let it go. But the effects can last a while, good, bad, or ugly. But that one doesn't. That one's no fun. I don't like that one. I can't even tell you. I don't even know what that taste is. But whatever, no matter. That's not a good taste. But that's what we do. And now when we go home, we'll take a look. We'll make sure we get the spore. We'll take a look at everything, taste it up, and we'll see. We'll see what that particular flavor would help us. But anyway, a couple cool things to start off our hike. But the coolest thing is, holy cow, you guys, look at that. Holy smokes, that's like a year's worth of chaga for me. So you guys ever find the need to try chaga, I try to catch as much as I can. We run into it, I'm always checking for chaga. So I bet if we went through a few more of these, this is a little thicker than I had counted for. We were going to take a nice leisurely walk on a path and go see some erratic boulders. So let's stick to that program. Holy crap. Yeah, that was but mushroom hunting, you guys. I mean, if I hadn't been live, I mean, I probably would have kept going, and I would have taken a couple more videos. We should have really did a video for our channel, for our TikTok channel. But if you guys find fungus in your life, tag me at TikTok. And you know, I think by now I should have known to bring some mints, chewing gum, some sort of water, something. My God, that's awful. Unless you like that kind of stuff. I don't at all. Look at this, you guys. Super cool. Wow, look at the size of this. This is a hydrocide. No, it's not. Yeah, it is. It's a witch's hat, but look at the size of this one. Holy smokes. So, yeah, what do we call that one? The Hygroside Conica, I believe we call it. There's a couple different versions in the West Coast, but man, that is really, really cool. I'm almost thinking, it's not, but I really do think it was. And the cool thing is, we'll probably put out a video on this one coming up very soon. But you can almost see that there's almost a hollowness to the stipe. But they do blacken. I mean, they're beautiful. These things are like a rainbow color when they come up. You may have seen them in your yard. And, well, now that I mention it, you may have seen them in your yard. But they come up and they're very colorful. They're very slimy. And that's what happens with these hygrosides. Oh, we walked right past this guy. Look at that. We had a little bit of dog vomit. Yeah, that's a slime mold, you guys. So, a little bit of dog vomit in our walk this morning, but pretty cool. Oh man, I'm so excited about the chaga. But that witch's hat, let's take a look around, because when we find them, you'll see the video, they're really, really cool looking. And you know, a lot of people confuse the black staining for being active of some sort. It's not. A lot of things there's black staining this time of year. We're going to find some rustlers, polypores, hygrosides, boletes. But oh my god, we just bit into that one. I feel like the Bigfoot thing. I just bit into a mushroom. I have no idea. Holy crap! I hate the taste of it. But anyway, let's hope it doesn't ruin the taste of our next mushroom, because that is how we identify things. So anyway, here we go, walking through the tunnel. Woo! All right, that's a lot of fun though. Let's practice our songs in here, right? Ain't no sunshine when she's gone, until we get to the end of the hole here. But I had a video about on my R250 channel about finding the light at the end of the tunnel. And there we go. You can see a couple of steps in your life and you may be in a whole different world. Just keep that in mind. But when you're mushroom hunting, we find a lot of things that remind us of life, you know, with luck and opportunity and hard work, dedication, but just cool stuff. But yeah, we love that. We love talking mushrooms and relating it to life. But look at this, guys. I'm gonna try to get you a view here. Here's Head's Pond. We can get all the way to Pleasant Pond, and that's where the rattlesnakes are. But I don't think we're gonna make it on this video. I'm trying to keep it to an hour, and we'll see what happens. If we get so inclined, we will make the rest of the hike. But the actual trees and everything change. Everything changes past where the pond is here. But we'll take a look, because there's some really large stones here. But we have beaver, otter, there's bear, fox, bobcat, people, running the whole gamut. Look at that, another monster. Well, you don't have to worry about chaga, but look at that. A little bit of, look at that.
That's what it's all about.
You want to be friends? Yeah, we could be friends forever, man. Come on over, look at that. Well, we were just talking about Flitch Day, so maybe they're in line for getting a little slab of bacon at the door. They look like they've been happy for a long time. But that's a lesson that we learn here on Ecology, is that it takes a lot. It takes a lot to produce a mushroom. But the thing is that they're in relation. A lot of these are in relation with the trees, and we talk about it quite often. But now's probably a good time where we talk about the ones that are mycorrhizal that we find, the ones that are parasitic, which are, you know, basically that chaga one. It actually was trying to help the tree at one point. It's like, oh man, I'm sorry you got an open wound. Here, let me smooth that over for you, and then let me kill you. But it all, you know, nature takes its course, and fungus is a big part of it. But we also have the saprophytes, which what we find most often is the stuff like the turkey tail and all that, where it's just breaking down wood. That's what it does. It gets its nutrients by a chemical process that breaks down our wood, and that's why we talk about brown rot and white rot. It all depends on which chemicals, which mushrooms want to break down what kind of wood. But if you want to hang out, we'll see if we can actually find some mushrooms. That was a lot of fun though over there. Holy cow! She's stuck in the woods, but crazy finds. Holy cow! But let's see what else. Walking along a rail trail. This was an old rail trail that went, I think, to Concord, Haverhill to Concord, maybe. We'll see if we can find the signs. We're going to come up to a pond called Head's Pond. Some people call it the pickerel bucket. I guess there's a lot of stuff there. But anyhow, we'll see what happens, because usually I wear my neck brace on this walk. Maybe we will if we find some stuff, so we can be hands-free. Hi, how are you? Good morning. Hello, little doggy. But we'll see what we can find. I know we have a couple burrows on this trail. We've got, well, there's some owls out here that might be around. You see once in a while on the walks. But I haven't been here in a while, so let's just get reacquainted with what the landscape looks like, and maybe we'll go off path a little bit more. But anyhow, it's a beautiful walk no matter what, and a lot of people come here to walk their dog and take a look at this beautiful bit of nature down here. So in a couple minutes we'll be over at our rock pile, but we'll see if we can't get into the woods and find something else, because holy crap, that was pretty cool already. It's just, you know, another lesson for life. Sometimes it's like, yeah, big day, and not so much. But anyhow, here's our first big rock. Look at that. Yeah, pretty good size. And then, like I'm saying, you guys take a look at that and go, holy crap, yeah, let's move that. Let's go make a fort out of that, right? You see that one up there? I mean, I'm telling you, these rocks around here are just giant. Even the ones that they move for the railway. Large stones, but we're gonna go touch a few and see what happens on this walk. But anyhow, I'm glad you guys could show up and hang out for a little Saturday morning stroll with Beyond Fungi. We're doing a little roaming with Roscoe, and really hoping we run into something. We always run into something, but let's just see. They could be anywhere. That's why we encourage you guys to look in the most common places. I mean, if you have the right environment, mushrooms will grow on your carpet. So just beware. But let's take a look. There could be, you know, we might have a little bit of luck. We're kind of in between flushes here, it seems. But I always like to get out and walk, so I figured, why not? If you guys want to walk, not everybody gets out in the woods, and I appreciate anybody who comes along with me. But you know, we get some fish, but a lot of people come here for the pickerel, what a lot of other people would call northern pike, but they call them pickerel, chain pickerel, and it wouldn't be unusual for call them a pike, but you know, we try to use the most common names that we can, just so that we all can agree. But let's see what happens here. I'll probably put on my neck brace just in case we need to take a look at something over here, like this big burl. Look at that big burly tree. That is something else. But this one's already made an appearance in my video. And a lot of people like to use those for arts and crafts and that kind of thing, but that one is just, I don't know what to say about that guy. It's a stew. But anyway, that's another thing that probably is caused by a fungus. I'm not exactly too sure. Sometimes it can be insects, sometimes it can be fungus. But whatever it is, it's a defense mechanism, you know, to try to get rid of a problem. And another relation to life. I mean, a lot of times we develop growths that are supposedly there to protect you, but like the chaga, sometimes they can get a little bit out of control and give you something you don't want. But anyways, we're gonna go see over here. We got some wet spots. I see something down in the holler here. Let's take a look. This one might be the bicolor bolete. We've been finding a few, and I'm gonna switch over to It's my neck brace for this one. But down in the gully here. Oh, look at the size of that. Wow. Look at this, guys. We did a video on that the other day. So I want to see some more. Oh wow, look at this, you guys. I'm gonna take a video of this one. Holy cow, I've never seen so many, but there it is. Tiger eye polypore. Maybe you've never seen that many either. Holy smokes. And that's a large one right there. That's pretty good size. But let's get on to our part of our show here that we came for, because look what we found. I know. Well, we were looking. But look at these. Yeah, we're gonna do a flyover video of these guys. But here it is. These are a little old. We'll take a look at this one here, and we'll give it a sniff, because, you know, it could be the curry smelling one. But look at that. It's actually got, you know, it's got Bug City. Reminds you of those little ant farms we had, huh? But look at that. We'll see. It's going to turn blue in a second. I don't really see it. I don't recognize too much of a smell. It does have a scent to it. I guess it's a little too old for bruising. But there it is. It's a bolete. And we got a couple more over here. And a lot of times these red ones, we find them kind of on the hillside over here like this. But really cool with these Coltricia, the tiger eye. But, you know, sometimes we do have to get off the path. But a lot of times I like to just stick with the path so you guys can kind of be like, oh, that's just regular old walking. And he's finding stuff. Yeah, we do. We find stuff, we stay curious, and let me try to just make the day a little bit better by being a bit curious. But that's a cool one, you guys. That's a cool one. So anyhow, happy to have you along while we're searching for fungus, and we'll take you over here to show you a couple big rocks on this show. But we're really looking, because black chantrells are out. The other chantrells are popping. On these platforms. Not sure why. Not sure if it's by design or if it's something to do with the phones. Who knows? Hi guys. But you never know. You just never know. But let's take a walk. That's what we do. How you doing? Little Roman with Roscoe. So, anyways, hoping you guys are enjoying your summer and finding stuff. And like I said, if you do find something, you're like, oh, that's way cool. I've never seen that before. Send it on over on TikTok. Here's the leftovers of our ghost flowers. We'll probably see some more of those. But if you've been on the show, you realize that we talk about that's a mycorrhizal parasite. It gets in between the tree and our Russula species and steals nutrients. It's the highway robber of the forest. But it's worked out pretty good for them. Another big rock. We're coming into big rock zone. But, you know, some of these rocks here, I mean, I gotta say, there's been a lot of rocks moved in this area. And just to move like one like this, yeah, that's as far as we're gonna go. I know. I've been there before. Even with machines, these things, like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do with that? But look at the lichen. We talk about lichen a lot on the channel because it's beyond fungi. But look at that. Breaking down stuff. That's what it does. And another relationship for life. It's two different organisms that are getting together, making it all happen. So, you know, we come from two different worlds. Let's just get together and break stuff down. It'll be awesome. I'll help you. You help me. Perfect. There you go. Lichen. I liken that to life. But anyhow, oh, a little swampy area over here. Let me take a look. Oh, I see something on the tree over here, but we're probably not going to get to that. Some shelf fungus over there that looks like it could be a Ganoderma. Good morning. And might be a little late for some Ganoderma, but I'm still looking. We still find something. It does seem a little dried up though here, and it's not really. But you know, a lot of stuff we're finding is actually getting its moisture from from trees or moss or something, so it's not like it's waiting for rain. But yeah, the taste of that first mushroom is still bugging me. It's like, I don't know what it's like, putting a musty sock in your face or something. I don't know. But like I said, another lesson for life. If you don't plan ahead, I say that every time, if you're gonna start biting mushrooms, at least bring something to cleanse. Wash it out with water or something. Oh, look at that. We fall for that every time, huh, guys? I know you're like, Roscoe. No. No. That's one of those orange crazy things that we find out in the woods. Find it a lot. We just got led astray this morning by some Skittles. Yeah, someone had thrown some Skittles off the path, and I'm like, oh, what? Huh? Oh, that's hilarious. I know. What? I know. Squirrel? Yeah. Yeah, but look at this, you guys. Oh, man. There's some beaver hut right there. I hope we see some animals here. But there are river otters here, and that's really, one time I really wanted to come down here when I found out they were frolicking. Because they seem like pretty cool customers. Oh, nothing to see here, guys. We're in the witch hazel, but look at this. Every time. I think we're calling that the most popular mushroom of 2025. The platyful mushroom, Megacolibia, Rodman eye. And I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure Rodman eye was every time you see the double eye or ends with eye, usually means that we're giving a tribute to a mycologist. Wow, son of a bitch. Look at that one. Holy cow. Oh, jeez. Man alive. Look at that, you guys. That's why the animals are here. They really enjoy it. It's a great park, and a lot of people do run across, even though it's just kind of a regular trail. A lot of people do run across a lot of animals on this trail. So you never know. We've seen quite a few of them, but nothing big. Just mostly the regular customers: squirrels, ducks, beaver. We'll take a look down here because a little gully with some pine, and these white pines. A lot of things are dependent on these white pines. So a lot of times we'll see the amanita popping up, or a couple different things that really depend on the relationship between them. And like I said, we think of mushrooms as breaking stuff down. Not all mushrooms break stuff down. A lot of them are just happy being the addendum to a tree. They get it's a relationship, though. That's what I'm saying. A relationship with fungus and trees. The lichen has a relationship with fungus, bacteria, or some sort of algae. So you just never know. But can't we all just get along? Take a little lesson from here. We're going over there, you guys. So we're gonna be doing another half hour's worth of walking around and hopefully finding stuff. Hopefully finding mushroom stuff, actually. But whatever. It's always nice. We love. That's the whole idea of getting out, just seeing stuff, finding stuff, and checking out what nature has to offer. And because we're out here all the time, we get the subtleties of how things change from day to day and week to week, and how things end up growing and getting old and going on with their life. But we're gonna go out there onto the rock. I hope I see someone already out there. We'll take a look. And we're gonna go see some large rocks and hopefully end up seeing a couple animals on our walk. But we just don't know. There's a lot of people out here, so a lot of times they get scared off. But we got a benchmark right there. Not one that we're gonna talk about, that we're gonna take pictures from, but I suppose if you wanted to take a picture from that every day of the week, you could find out exactly what happens around here. But really cool over here. Hi, how are you? We'll take a look, because up on this slope over here where it gets a little wet, we might be able to find something. But so far so cool. We'll take a look. There's someone sitting on the rock with their dog out there. Not bad way to spend a morning. But that's why we talk about, if you get out and take a look at fungus, even if you're just taking pictures, it gets you out. It gets you out in the woods, and makes you curious, but it gives you a deeper appreciation and understanding for everything that goes on out here, you know. But a lot of times we run into places like this where it's like, was this actually created to be, you know, did someone make this? It happens quite a bit. Here's one of the ghost pipes we talk about quite often, and we like to nibble on one while we're walking through the woods. We'll take a look at this one here, because this is what happens when they get old. They start blackening. The thing is, if you make a tincture out of it, they turn purple, and so a lot of people confuse the purple for some sort of active component, and it's not at all. But it does have some medical benefits, supposedly. But I did want to take a look in here, because this sure looks like a spot where I would find a couple of boletes, but not today. Let's keep on walking and see what we can find. So you never know. Got a couple old bottles here. Remember Michelob? Wow, that's pretty old. Remember Michelob? Yeah. Was it the king of beers? Yeah. I don't know. They still have Michelob? That was like the Cadillac of beers back in the day. Or at least when you couldn't buy beer, you know, when you were underage. Lakin's Pond, that's what we're calling it. Heads Pond was originally called Lakin's Pond. So there it is, and you can see that we had the Concord Railway going all the way right through this section. Yep. Actually encroached on the pond, but up to 1738. But yeah, there was a famous family here that had a sawmill, and I thought they actually made bricks. We'll talk more about that, but look at this. We'll take anything we can get. Yep, Russella, right? I know, well, it's a little old Russella, but yeah, it's still a Russella, and it's very recognizable as one. We see them all the time, and when we get you on the program here, we're gonna make sure when you get out there, you'll know. And look at this, you guys. This is what I mean. It's as common as this. Like, here we are, walking along the path, and black chantrells. So, I don't know if you guys have ever seen black chantrells before, but there it is, and they have a pink spore print that becomes kind of apparent, but they're in the Crateralis family, even though we call them chantrells. It's a misnomer. It happens a lot in the Myco language here, but there it is. The black chantrell. Hi, good morning. How are you? Hi, puppy. But there it is. So if you guys are ever looking for some, they're out, and I find them a lot in July. I saw that a couple of different patches that I had were kind of going on the last bit of the flush, but they'll be back again, and we'll show you how much fun it is to harvest a pound of chantrells. And I'm joking about that. I know, it's really not. It's time consuming, but if you love mushrooms, it's definitely worth it. And you know, I spent a couple hours last year, and I still got a bunch left. I still got a whole dried selection of them. So let's take a look here. Look at that. That fungus doing our work. And this one's kind of funny because it's white. This is the white rot, but it looks a little bit more, it's kind of in sections here, like it's actually been cubed. But what happens is that it takes all, whatever was on here, takes all the cellulose and leaves us the lignin. Whereas on the brown rot, it's just the opposite. And we see those geometric patterns that arise from being all cellulose. But that one still has the squaring up of how the cellular arrangement was. So, but look at this, guys. Look at that. And if we stand in just the right spot, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You know, we're famous for the old man of the mountain here, and it was like, it just looked like this until you stood in the right spot, and it was like, oh my God, look at that man on the mountain. Yeah, he's not there anymore. But look at the size of these things, huh? But kind of a cool area here where we got these massive boulders, but we'll see. Maybe there's some mushrooms that are hanging around here. You never know. But look at this, you guys. I mean, that is something else, isn't it? Like, look at that. Actually, I'm gonna do this. How about we do this? Hi, Roscoe. How you doing? But look, just see if you can get an eyeball of like how big this rock is. I mean, it's a monster. We have one up in Madison. That's the biggest erratic here for a long ways. I don't even know how far, but look at this thing. I mean, it's a freaking cliff sitting in the. But it's pretty neat, and yeah, we have one up in Madison that's 30 feet and about 16 tall. And you know, if you know anything about Baalbek and the structures in Baalbek, Lebanon, that's about the size they were cutting them, maybe even a little bigger. And be like, yeah, I'm moving that. I have no problem. I wouldn't have cut it if I couldn't have moved it. Like, what are you talking about? But a lot of weight. A lot of weight. This granite is just, you know, I mean, even small pieces of granite are just craziness. But you see how nature found its way right here. But a lot of big rocks. Let's go out and take a look, guys, because half of the wonderment of mushroom hunting is getting out and taking a look at stuff. And man, do I like taking a look at stuff. And I'm you know, I'm always just trying to keep my foot in and trying to look for mushrooms. So I will get back in another 20 minutes. We'll head on back and I will try to answer a couple questions here. But look at this, pretty cool. We gotta get through these bushes here until we get to see the good spot. But we've been here several times where the reflection in the morning has just been amazing. I almost thought about doing my morning show from here, but I just don't know. I just don't know if I want to sacrifice the one thing for another. As cool as this would be, what if it wasn't? You know? Yeah, what if it wasn't anything? But I'm pretty sure that we would get the sun coming up from over here. Look at that. Holy cow. Beautiful. And great place to fish. But we're kind of interested in just taking a look around, seeing what it is we can see from here. Very cool. Can't see any animals. Huh. But anyway, we're hunting fungus, and we got about another 15 minutes worth of fun here. Unless we really run into something great, or end up falling and letting it just keep on videotaping. Wonder how long that would work. Well, I guess unless my battery died. But you know, on TikTok, if you end up doing a live mushroom hunt and falling and breaking your neck or something like that, they're gonna make you push a puzzle piece, or they're gonna shut you down. But anyway, if you guys don't follow me on TikTok, you're always welcome to stop on by, say hi, and if you find some fungus, go ahead and tag me. I'd love to repost your videos. But a lot of pine stuff in here, and not a whole lot to see here. So let's just take a little bit longer walk here, see if we can find something else. But very cool looking place. I always like coming here. It's a little different in the summer, but yeah, some big rocks here. And this is the kind of stuff we're looking for, right? Because anything that needs breaking down, we'll see if something breaking it down. But like I said, some big rocks around here. It makes you wonder, like, you know, what kind of you know, we have some bad days on Earth. This must have been a hell of a bad day. You know, moving rocks like this, holy crap, that's something else. So, anyways, somehow these things got dislodged and pushed down here, and We were just wondering about that in Mount Washington the other day in New Hampshire. All the glacial action that happened up there, carving out these huge valleys and hillsides and dropping these guys when they recede, caught up in the ice. All right, guys. Well, black chantrells we found just on the side of here. But, you know, the whole thing is, you never know. You never know. I mean, we walk for miles and don't find anything. We go home and it's like, get out of the truck and you step on a mushroom. It's like, oh, son of a bitch, right there. But we're just trying to find stuff. We actually brought our pack along today so that we could grab as many things as we could to examine under the microscope, and hoping to take you in that realm at some point where we get a chance to do a little microscopic work. Let's see anything over here. Anyway, let's get back on the path, take a little walk up the road here, and we'll get ready to conclude our show. So, I'm always happy to have you guys coming along and seeing the woods of New Hampshire here. We're actually in Hooksett, if you saw in the beginning of our video, on a rail trail. Used to be the Concord Railway. But very cool stuff. And like I said, we find a lot of our stuff on birch trees. So if you guys have birch trees around, a lot of times, you know, that's the go-to. Easy stuff. And don't really do it so much anymore because we've already found so many darn things. But take a look here. Sometimes in these little areas, we'll find lactarius, little washout, kind of grown over. Nope. And then the red chantrells too. We're going to go back to that path, but maybe we'll do that in the morning. We'll go back to our other rail trail. See some purple polypore down there. Run into that quite often. You've probably seen that on just about every video that we've ever had. Just seems like we've always run into that. But anyways, we'll see if we can find something else around here to talk about before we end up getting to the end of our hour-long foray. But great mix of trees right here, and at some point we're definitely going to come back and we'll walk down along the edge of these trails right here. Take a look and see if we can find anything that's sort of out of the ordinary. But we love to find anything and wonder why and how it got here, you know. But like I say, a lot of it is they found the right match. So, another lesson in life. But this is the part of the trail where the wildlife like to hang out, and we'd like to get down inside of here, but I think it's going to be a whole separate adventure when we get down and start walking through this part of the woods. There's a drainage ditch that's right below here, so I almost have to get past that before I can start filming. But because there was a railway, there was, you know, some excavation done here, and this is a raised bed. I mean, you can see how much work they must have had to do. I just can't imagine that back in the day. I mean, to bring this kind of fill in, you know, it's not like they had dump trucks and bulldozers or, hey, let's look at this, because, oh, look maybe we have something here. No, nope. But we're always looking for shrumps. I thought that was a mushroom. I know. Well, but like I say, sometimes mushroom hunters can start looking at things and be like, oh, I think I'm seeing. No, you're not. Don't pretend like you found something you didn't when you mushroom hunting. You found what you found, and be happy you found that. But a lot of people, you know, like, I found something. No, you didn't. Don't do it. It gives people a bad name. But if you're on iNaturalist, well, you don't need to know what it is. Just put it on there. Let someone else do the groundwork for you, right? And yeah, they go back with you. But I like iNaturalist because if I want to take a picture of something, but I don't want to use my phone storage, well, you store my picture. I know where to find it. I can find my pictures on iNaturalist faster than I find them on my phone. Let me tell you that, you guys. Yeah, give me a minute. No, give me 10 minutes. Probably not gonna find it. Sorry. Everything looks like this color on my phone. You know, everything looks like dried leaves. Yeah, but a really cool area, and probably a little bit of history in this whole area too. But we're at the other end of the trail is where it gets close to the Merrimack River, and where all the production was of lumber and bricks and all that. But we have a lot of places to search here, so we may end up doing a couple videos here at some point. But you guys can watch for my my flyover of the tiger eyes. Yep, there we go. Nice place though. These rail trails make for a great place. And at the end of here, if you want to walk a mile to go swimming, beautiful place over here. I think it's Pleasant Pond, we said, but gorgeous. And there's some structures out there, a lot of really big rocks. It's very pretty. Oh, we just walked past this little guy right here. Look at that. Almost looks like it could be another one of them platypulls. We've seen them in every size. I mean, platypul indicates that they're going to be monsters, which a lot of times they are, but not all the time. So it makes me wonder if there's some sort of genetic difference. Mushrooms are fairly smart though. They're going to allocate their resources and they're going to pump out what they need to pump out. There's a birch right there with some, you know, horse fungus on here. And I have one at home. You guys probably have heard me talk about it. Ready to start a fire with. You throw a spark on that thing and it's going to burn. It's like incense. That's what I try to think about when we see these things. I think about if you had incense. And I'm not even too sure that someone doesn't use it to make incense out of, because that's how it burns. It burns long and slow. And it was the way that you carried fire back in the day. Just put a little ember in that thing, wrap it in a leather sack, throw it in your bag, and ride on to the next town. Start your fire all over again. But you know, mushrooms were a big part of people's lives, and a lot of times they were saved for royalty because you know, they thought that they had some medicinal or some sort of aphrodisiac effect. But you know, just to the rarity, the scarcity of them would end up dictating that only the privileged would get them. But I do find that a lot of Europeans really love the rustlers. So rustlers and lactarius are in the same actual genre, but people love those for some reason. We'll find out. We didn't see many rustlers today, so. But we'll see what happens. We'll try to get ourselves out there, and within the next couple days, tomorrow morning, we'll go see if we can't find a couple more things on a little different part of the rail trail. But yeah, as you can see, this is a great place to mushroom hunt. So we'll be coming back here once or twice during the year. The fall would be, you know, where a lot of this area would be flushing with type of mushrooms, but we are finding lactarius and chantrells and rustlers out. Oh, these guys are characters right here. Look at these guys. I know you're saying, Roscoe, bite into one. I fell for that trick too many times, you guys. But there it is, the Lactarius deceptivus. So if I'm trying to get some milk, trying to break it to get some milk out of here to show you the Lactarius part. But they kind of smell, you know, the funny thing is they almost have a spermatic odor, but these are older, so they're not going to bleed, but they will still, if you like the taste of a 9-volt battery on your tongue, you go right ahead. I don't know, I just bit into one an hour ago that's still it's still sticking with me. I don't like the taste of it. What do we got here? That looks gross, don't it, guys? What do you think that one smells like? I'll bet you any money it smells like cherries washed in bleach, right? Pecnoides group. Ooh, boy, does that look yucky though, doesn't it? Oh man, it's even slippery. That's weird. Oh, look at that. It's got some viscidness to it. But look at that. It's actually got like some discoloration there. Let's give it a sniff. Yep. Yep. It's that one has more of a bleach smell instead of instead of cherry. A slight bit of cherry on that, but like I say, if it smells like something. Oh, look at this one, you guys. We were just talking about that. Hopefully we'll see some of these this weekend. We'll take this one with us, I guess. But look at that. Let's take a look, because we're going to get some milkiness out of this one. Lacteris voluminous. And let's just see. Because I had these the other day, and I'm still looking to cook them up. Watch them bleed. Watch that bleed right there. Yeah, see, the milk is actually dripping out onto my hand. But pretty cool, huh? And the thing is that this milk is going to end up turning brown. And it's going to smell really, really fishy. So, probably not the greatest thing in the world, but for some reason, these ones are a choice edible. And I have some in the fridge right now. Like I said, I was actually looking for a couple more because I was just waiting for them to get a little bigger. And, well, the squirrels ate them before I got back. So, everybody else likes mushrooms too. So, it's kind of my policy that when I see them, I grab them. But I was just like, it's in the yard. I'll just come back. No, they're just having a big old squirrel party out there. It's craziness. But anyway, guys, let's get ready to answer a couple questions if we can. And this stuff is like this. It's rubbery. It's smelly. And watch my fingers. They're gonna turn. It's gonna be like Gorilla Glue. They're gonna turn. And the worst part is that these are a choice edible, but until you actually cook them, they smell like nasty old fish. Ah, man, I'll tell you. And so I'm gonna see because the smell is a little off-putting right now. So we'll take a little more walk. This is where the change in environment happens here. So not quite sure that we never know what we're going to find anywhere. But it seems like the ground gets a lot more sandy and packed from the lake, the pond that's up here. But there it is, a crazy lactarius, but choice edible and very beautiful mushroom. But yeah, you can see the milk coming out. And I'm actually going to put this into a wax paper bag. Just so that it doesn't harm it at all. But just because I don't want my mushroom bag smelling like dead fish. I mean, that happens a lot. You wouldn't believe this mushroom bag needs to be washed like every week. And that's even if I don't take it. Even if I don't take all the stuff out of it, it needs to be washed every week. And I don't think I did this week, so I don't know what's going on. Might not be the best smell in the world here. Look at this thing. It's pretty cool. So I'll take a walk up here. Look at that chunk of granite. That's a hillside right there. Yeah, try building a house on that. Takes a ton of dynamite, for sure. Look at that. We got almost like this reindeer moss type of stuff going on here. The path. Let's take a look. Take a look and see what we see down this path. Because it's really rocky, stony, sandy. Oh, what do we got on the path up here? Don't know. I always bring your towel. All right. Now, I don't believe that there's a whole lot different stuff out here, but this is definitely a different environment, and always what we're looking for. It's a different way to get down to the pond. So I was interested in a little different aspect of our walk, but we're really here for the shrooms. So look at that. What the hell? These are the old polypores. These are these ones right here. Betulina. Fomitopsis betulina. And the betulina means birch. So if you're into mushroom hunting and you see betulina, well, bet you it's on birch. So there we go. But anyway, guys, let's wrap this baby up and get the show on the road, and we'll come back for some more mushroom hunting tomorrow. If you guys want to do a live mushroom hunt, we'll figure out where I'm going to go. I'm not positive. We might go to a couple different places, but I'd like to go somewhere where there's mushrooms. and right now we're kind of in between flushes, so it's not the best time, but not the worst time, because there are things popping. But anyways, if you guys have any questions, comments, or anything else, I'll stop here and take a look at the screen before we bid a fair adieu. And thank you guys so much for keeping us company, and maybe a bit of good luck. Who knows? But pretty cool. We've gone through a couple different types of environments here along our rail trail, and it's becoming a beautiful day. Look at that. We're actually going to see these little guys right here. That's I don't know if you can. They're actually mushrooms that come out of lichen. So, all right. Well, I'm about all done searching. I'm going to start heading back and do a couple of videos. So I appreciate you guys showing up, hanging out. We got Nomi, Polly, and Paula. How you doing? Nice to see you. I know, right? I know. That's what I think too when I'm in our morning walk there. It's almost like, oh, welcome to my living room. Right? But no, there is a type of fungus, and it's actually called Domicilia. It's a cup fungus, so it looks a little bit like a wood ear, or you know what I'm talking about, the cup funguses. And yeah, they grow on your carpet, and not just in your house. They grow on outside, and look at that oak gloss skulls. Look how small this is, but there it is. They're like, get out of here, bug. I'm gonna make an oak gull. But yeah, you never know where mushrooms are gonna show up. But yeah, there's a Piazza Domicilia, which the domicile makes you think maybe it's grown in my house. Yeah, it is. They're everywhere, right? They just need a reason to, mushrooms are everywhere. They just need a reason to fruit. That's all they're looking for. Give me a reason. Take away my food, take away my water. Something that stresses it out, pisses it off, and makes it go, oh crap, we better get out of town, head to the next town. So, but anyway, nice to see you guys. Nice to see you guys on our walk this morning, and it's been kind of a nice walk. I really enjoyed it. We had to create a little bit of distance in order to see stuff, cool stuff, and you can watch for my Coltricia perennius video when we're going to do a flyover. That was crazy. I've never seen so many of those in one spot, and I've actually thought about using them for arts and crafts before, but I'm not sure how they hold up to that. But they are polypore. But anyhow, guys, there it is. Time to rock and roll. Let's get on with our regular day, because we could go mushroom hunting for a lot longer. Even if we didn't find anything, I would definitely be mushroom hunting for a lot longer. But anyway, it's Saturday, and we all got to get on with our show here. So, best of luck, and hoping you stay curious and find stuff. I will look for you on all of the platforms on Beyond Fungi. And if you enjoy sunrise videos, on the R250 channel on TikTok. But there it is, guys. Watching the wonders of nature and all the strange things that it has to offer. This one's weird. We missed that one, huh? I'll bet you any money that was one of those oyster mushrooms we were talking about. The one that doesn't come out with the pleuteroid stem, dry phyllis, or I think it was probably a levi. who knows? Can't tell if it's in that shape, right? And who cares? So, anyhow, let's get the show on the road, and we'll catch you next time. Stay curious, enjoy the journey, and thanks for coming along, guys. Appreciate it, and have the best day yet. We'll see you next time. Enjoy. Whoops. Bye.